I'm gonna
Already
mute
hit it.
everything real quick, and then I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we're
switch
live.
it.
We're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey. It's not a researcher report, but it is just a little surprise show we wanted to put out. Just get a few of the guys together. We may have some jump in later. Mark Zaskey. Um, I think he might have fell asleep. I don't know. He could be joining us here later. Who knows? I got some messages to him. He had planned on coming. I will say that. So, but yeah, just got some guys together. Some of the expedition crew guys got. Clay from Squatching Strategies, the new red team leader. Uh, some stuff happened with D, and he's going to make it, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make the whole trip. So we decided to bump Clay up to be the team leader since he's going to be there for the whole trip. You got Mr. Mark Kinchell, the
Right.
man himself, and all the way from Hawaii, Mr. Brandon Shoma. And all these guys are a part of the expedition crew. Brandon's a part of the initial oversight and logistics. These are the guys. These are some of them. Anyway, we did lose Cam Buckner. He's not going to be able to make it. Of course,
Oh,
yeah, it was kind of iffy anyway. But yeah, he's just it's got when it comes to work and big jobs and money, what he does. He's got to sort his priorities, and it's understandable. That guy's got a lot of irons in the fire anyway. But yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about some of what we're going to be doing while we're down there. Some of our concerns. We're going to be taking your questions. So, if any of you guys have questions for us at any time, put them in caps. And can you guys see the chat where you are?
I got my phone out, so yeah.
Yeah, I see it now.
I'm probably gonna have to switch to either the computer or the tablet so I can see that on my phone and stuff like that. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Well, I think I can turn your chat on.
I've got it on mine. It's over on the right-hand side of the screen.
It's on. See, Daniela usually does all this stuff, and I just sit here and talk. So she's not here. So
she's the brains and you're the beauty.
I think that's not even the other way around. I think she's got all of it. I'm the voice. That's all it is, and for what it's worth. But hey, let everybody know Mark Zaskey and I do have our new. It's a pod. I guess you call it a podcast. I don't know. It's on Patreon, but you're not going to be able to find it if you go look it up. I will put links in the description. It's called Mark and Kerry A to Z. If you guys want to join up, we just put out another show today. A lot of cool videos in there. Just we talk about everything under the sun. Mostly, we'll show videos and go over them and just kind of talk about that stuff and. You guys might enjoy it. We're doing that because we have in the works for 2020 a new show that we're going to be doing together. We're going to take Bigfoot Odyssey and Crypto Reality and we're going to put them together, and it's going to be a travel show, travel series that we're going to put out, and we're just using the Patreon there to help fund it because travel's not cheap. So let's get into this. We're going to be in a place. We just actually saw some pictures that Mark Zaskey's wife, Melanie, had gotten not too long ago. They were from about 70 yards away. I think she got these 4 or 5 days ago. She's probably 70 yards away, and she's with the iPad. And I mean, these are Sasquatch that are sitting there watching her. And it's about 10 miles as the crow flies away from where we're going to be. She's over on the backside of it, and she's on a bicycle. I don't know. These people they've done it so long. I don't know. They're just have become fearless, I suppose. But when you guys, because I showed you guys those pictures, right? You saw those and you've seen some of the other ones. Clay, what do you think about that, man? When you see that and you think about going out there and being around that at night?
Yeah, I mean, we've always known what we're getting into, but I'm just I'm hoping to catch the movement and not just making out a face afterwards after we've edited the film or gone through the footage and everything. And I mean, it makes me excited to know that they're there and everything, but I definitely want to catch something a little better with movement, a little more clear and. And I mean, that's just going to take, equipment and time. So, but
right.
I mean, at least we know we're there, and that's what's exciting to me. So
yeah, we're not going to a place hoping that
Right.
they're there. We
Exactly.
know these creatures are all over the place there, and they're going to be watching us, and we're going to try not to give ourselves away, to start with, which is going to be, we're going to have a lot of things that we're going to have to battle, including park rangers. They're going to be questioning us, is just keep the cameras rolling constantly. Because they're going to question us, and we'll have them on camera. They're public official people. They cannot tell us to turn our cameras off because we're going to be on public property. But it's a high likelihood, especially with us being out there at night, that they have something to say to us. The only concerns really I have are going to be with the drone, the thermal drone, which I wasn't able to get the attachment for the DJI Phantom 4 that I was going to get this badass, excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen, this really awesome thermal camera for the drone attachment for like $3,000. Can't get the guy to call me back. He won't answer my texts. So I don't know what happened. Maybe he sold it already. I just wish he would tell me something. But I'm putting that aside. We're getting the DJI Mavic Pro that's got the thermal camera on it already. It's about $5,000, a couple $1,000 more than we plan on spending, but we're going to do it. This is what we're going to get. And that's the only thing I worry about is having that and them thinking that we're harassing the wildlife or anything like that. But we'll just have to deal with those things as they come. If I get a ticket or two, it's going to be what it is. Kench, when you see those pictures that Mark puts up, now some of these things are 8 feet tall and probably weigh 500-600 pounds, maybe more than that. I don't know. We don't know about bone and muscle density. But they leave pretty deep impressions in whatever substrate when we leave none. So they're obviously heavier than us. They're bigger than us. And when you see those things, how does that make you feel? I mean, knowing that this is where you're going to go and it's going to be dark and you may hear this thing growling and we catch it on thermal and we're asking you guys to try to maybe surround it, get in on it, try to get it on camera. How does that make you feel? What do you think about when you see that?
Well, on day 1, day 2, as the days go on, those kind of things will get more difficult because your mental focus will start to go. As you've said, it's 2 teams and we're going out there for 8 hours at a time and we're in rotation. And so, by day 7, if one comes and stands right in front of you, it's going to be very difficult to have some mental focus to do what that you need to do.
Yeah. It's going to be tough.
Mark and Melanie have the luxury of distance when they take some of these shots. As he was showing the other day on one of the videos, it's quite a fair way with lots of palmetto bushes in between them and the tree line. So they've also been doing it for quite a while. So they can stand there without having to worry about much, and they can film these things. And, that's one thing, but you're talking about, you and me and Clay and the rest of the team who maybe have not had a sighting. Well, I know you've had a sighting, but you've heard them, you've seen the evidence of them. But maybe the first time to ever see one is going to be like one of the shots that you put on Patreon. And to be able to stand there and not to turn around and go somewhere else, that's going to be the difficult thing. You're going to have a lot of mental focus and intestinal fortitude to stand there and do it.
Are you kidding me? Look, there are so many people, and I know Brandon, he looks into this subject a lot. There are so many people that do this, that get into this subject or just out of interest. They haven't seen one, but they're interested in it enough. They've got the time. They say, okay, let's go try this. Let's go out here and see if there's, and I don't think they really are grasping that how real these things are. These creatures are out there. And if they get into an area where they actually hear something, they get that low guttural growl and it sounds like it's 20 feet away, or they hear, the loud tree knock or a yell or whatever it is, that's what they're looking for. And they're ready to leave. And I've seen this with seasoned professionals, people that have done this for years. They get out there and then all of a sudden things start to get a little bit hairy, they're turning around and hitting the truck. That's not what we're going to do. You know, this is part of what we're signing up for is the sacrifice.
Well,
And
my son and I are going out to UARI this weekend. I wrote you that earlier today. We're going to spend a couple of nights out there and do some investigations in a spot that he and his wife have had interactions. She won't go back out there again. She hasn't seen one, but they've been sitting right next to the tent and even had a tent bump that night. She won't go back out there. So we're going to go out there and set some trigger objects up, set a decoy tent out, and we're going to go looking for them. We know they're out there. I know a couple of investigators out there in UARI right now, and they know they're out there. They have footprints. These guys that I know are good. They have handprints. They have footprints. They've got the calls. They've got the pictures, the thermals, all that stuff. So I know they're there.
Where is UARI? Where is that?
UARI is between Charlotte and Asheboro, almost right in between them.
Okay.
It's UARI National Forest,
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
No. Here's a comment here. Donald Fuller says, "Hey Gary, not sure if you caught my chat, but Parrot has a FLIR drone for $2,000. I looked at that, Donald. I looked at a lot of them. The only thing about that is it doesn't have the sensors on it to keep you from running into anything, and that's what I worry about when you're putting out that kind of money. You want to have those sensors on it, and the DJI has them. So if you get within 8 feet of anything, it'll stop and won't let you go any further. And when the proximity we're going to be to a lot of trees and palmettos and trying to fly this thing through the trees, I really want that. So it's just worth spending that extra money just to have those sensors and to have a 4K camera along with a really good FLIR camera. It's got 9 different settings, and all that is in lieu of being able to change the ambient temperature. So if things are really hot, you can put it on like an Arctic setting and it brings the ambient temperature down, where only things that are really hot, like 98 degrees like us or more, are really going to show up, because trees hold heat, rocks hold heat. I know all those things will show up on a thermal if you don't have the right settings on it. So I didn't read much up on the Parrot other than, but I did look at it. I saw that one. I saw several. They have one. It's an octocopter. It's $6,500, and well, look who's back. Look who's here twice. I'm gonna remove this other one, Brandon. Oh yeah, for people that didn't know, this is Nobody Knows 808 that you usually see in the chat. Mr. Brandon Shoma. How are things in Hawaii, Brandon? Can't hear you. We can't hear you. Are you muted? No, you're not muted. Oh, while you're working out your issues there, Mark and I were talking today about some of the things and the anticipation. You know, this has been 6 months in the planning, and we're just next month we're going out there. We're going to go and do this, and I don't want people to think that this is going to be just another Bigfoot show like you're going to see on TV or anything like that. It's going to be nothing like that. The way we're going to film this, it's going to be shot linear. It's going to be put out linear in an hour by hour kind of fashion. You might have a period that skips 3 or 4 hours ahead, just because we have to edit down 24 hours into 2 to 2.5 hour program. You there, Brandon? Nope, still can't hear you, man. I don't know what's going on. Your mic's not on or not picking up. You might have to go to your settings. Go to your settings down there and hook up your microphone. Sorry, but yeah, this is it's been so long in the works. We're doing this the way we're going to shoot it, the way it's going to be presented. The way we're going to disseminate the information. Half of what we're doing is going to be the story. It's pretty much getting to know the guys, who they are, and then what they're going to do. Because as we've always said, it's important that the people that are going to watch this and get emotionally involved in what's going on get to know who you guys are. They're going to have to trust you. They're going to have to trust you because you see it too many times. Somebody puts out a little short clip of a video where they got something jumping from one tree to another. There's no context. It's too easy for somebody to say, that's just a hoax. That's somebody in a suit or whatever, because they don't know the person putting it out. They don't know the situation. They don't know the context. It's going to be important for us to put those things out there. So from the beginning, like I said, getting to know who you guys are, why you even want to go and do this. I don't want to do it. I've just kind of put myself in a position where I have to. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. I think it needs to be done this way. I'm hoping this is going to, we have an opportunity to make this be a linchpin, if you will, for a different kind of study and investigation of the way people put information out there. This is what I'm hoping. I've had this in my head for so long of how it's going to go, and I know I can do it. I know I can put it out there this way. It's just going to be a matter of what we get. And you guys, I don't think you can be any more prepared than you are. And we would have Mark Newbill and Larry Porch on here, but they're doing their show right now, and we're probably taking some viewers away from them. I hate to say that, but yeah, when it comes to actually being out there at night, what have you thought about, Clay, about being in those situations, even though you got 4 other guys with you and including a camera guy, and your team? Let me set a scene here. Okay. We're on the edge of one of these catchment areas, and it's dark. I mean, it's nighttime. Where we are out in the catchment areas, there's no trees. It's just an open area. It's like, but you look inside that canopy, and it's as dark as it gets. I mean, it gets dark in the daytime, and you start to hear things. You hear what sounds like somebody walking through there. Even though we've got the thermals up, we can't see it. Have you thought about situations like that? Because I mean, that's what we're going to be in essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's the situations I'm hoping for. But I mean, we are going to have the ground thermal also, and I think that's going to be just as important as the drone thermal, because
we're going to have several actually.
Yeah,
I think everybody's going to have their own. They won't be the $1 ones. But everybody will have a thermal. Mark's bringing his scope, his night vision.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna try to rent one to bring one myself. But I mean, so it's not like we're gonna be blind, I mean,
right?
If something's speaking out from behind a tree, we're gonna see it. It's not like we're just gonna notice it on the footage afterwards. I mean, hopefully we'll see it anyways, but we have a better chance. So it's not like we're just going blind, even though it's pitch black. And so I mean,
but just going in, knowing what's in there. That's not the problem. Is not seeing it. The problem to me is going to be seeing that thermal image and knowing that there's 1 or 2 knelt down right there somewhere 20 feet away. I mean, what's going to be your call here?
That's what we're hoping for. I mean,
right.
It's not like we're dreading that scenario. That's what we're hoping for.
What's going to be your call though? I mean, you've got your 3 guys here and the camera guy, whoever that might be. It could be me. It could be anybody else filming you guys doing this.
Yeah, depending on the situation, come up with a plan and move in to get a better shot. I mean, that's all you can do.
You're gonna try to surround it, you think?
If that's the situation, if that's the right plan for it, maybe surround it, maybe set up something and try to, move it into a certain area. I mean, it just depends on the situation, depends on the surroundings, depends on the layout of the area. I mean, we won't know until it's that moment, and then we got to come up with a plan that fast.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm asking you a hard question because I've been there and I've seen, the place, and I have a good layout. I think about these things too and what I would do. And okay, Mark, what about this? You're in this particular situation, and you got one. You can see this apex, on your thermal, and he's peeking his head out around the tree, and he knows you see him, and he starts to make this guttural, this growl, that they like to do out there. Mark Zaskey can tell you all about it. What are you going to do, man? Are you going to go in?
Well, I've been trying to study different things like how gorillas act in primates. And one of the key things is if you do go in, you have to make yourself lesser than they are, less intimidating. You can go in as long as you go in less intimidating. And I think that could be an important factor, is to try to remember that they, in that situation, are dominant. And if you try to make yourself bigger than they are, you might start to ask for problems. So if you go in there less dominant, you might have more success. But like Clay said, it's going to be one of those things where you're thinking on your feet and what is going to be the next move. You said that we're going to have inter-team communications with the mics.
Yep.
And so hopefully Clay, as the team leader, will be saying, Mark, I need you to circle around to the left, or I need us all to group around those palmetto bushes over there, things like that. He's going to be the one that's in charge and directing the team to let us know what we need to do.
Right.
That's where it's going to become key, is that you're going to have to be strong enough to be able to follow the direction of whoever the team leader is.
Right. Absolutely. And, that's the whole thing is getting the shot, and that in the moment, the whole reason we're there is to get images of these creatures moving. That's what we want to do. We have no doubt that we're going to catch them on film. It's just they don't move. And I think when you're in that situation, I'm not sure I would equate them so much to gorillas or other primates. I think they're a lot more human primates in the way they act, and I think they like to bluff, intimidate. So this is what I believe in a situation like that. Going in, they're going to go. They're going to haul butt. So I think it's going to be important that you get people in position to catch them when they go. And some of those palmettos you're going through there, you can't see 3 or 4 feet in front of your face. So it might be a situation where we're positioning the drone and then going in and then catching them with the drone. And some of those really thicker areas, it's not all like that, but those are the places, those are their hiding places, and that's where we're going. A lot of people visit this area, and I think that's why these creatures are there, to watch these people. But people are not going off into the heart of darkness. They're staying on the trail, or they're going to be on the edge of a tree line, or if they're hiking at all, they're not going off in this thick stuff. And that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be a lot easier in the daytime, obviously, and there's no sneaking around. But there's no sneaking around for them either. You can hear them. There's dead palmettos all over the ground, wherever you see those 7-8 foot palmetto bushes. Saw palmettos, I think is what they're called. So you can hear them walking, and it's going to sound like I remember Mark Zaskey telling me it was he thought it was homeless people when he first went out there. When him and his brother first realized what they were dealing with, they had heard of the skunk ape their entire lives, but and even had a friend and his mother that had seen one in a tree, a big one, and it just completely freaked them out. They were traumatized from it. So, but when you're not aware and you're not really looking for it, they can be all around you and you're just not going to know it. But once that they found a footprint, they were fishing and they were playing leapfrog down a bank, down a canal. And Mark tried to leapfrog past his brother, and his brother's like, come here, get down here. And he comes down, and there's this beautiful, couldn't be any more perfect of a 17-inch foot. And his brother's like, is that what I think it is? And he's like, yeah, looking around, and it became a real moment of introspection, I can imagine, for both of them, hearing these stories, their whole lives. And they're like, all of a sudden, wow, this thing's real, because they could smell something too. And he said it was strong. And he said, man, he's telling his brother, he's like, Chris, that's not a hog. What is that? He said, I don't know what it is, but it stinks. And come to find out, it's, later on and being near them and smelling them. And I've smelled them too out there. It is pungent urine, BO. It's bad, especially in, warmer temperatures. It's really bad. And they smell this and then they find this track. This is the thing that marked it all. So we are going to be running into things like that because of where we're going. There are going to be areas, sandy banks, spots where we're going to find tracks, the kind of structures that they build. That Mark and I also too believe that they build these things. They're strange because it's a lot of palm and pine trees, all palmettos, different types of palms, date palms, all these different palm trees, coconut palms down there. And so they don't, there's no like X structures or anything like that you're going to see down there. But what they have found off in the deepest, thickest parts where you have this collection of saw palmettos, and it's so thick that he believes they just get in the middle of, off to the right or the left or wherever 10 feet away, there's this, it's almost like a hut. It's built right up next to a tree, and it's kind of long, and he seems to think that that's where they keep their kids, maybe while they go off and do whatever. But nothing, there's nothing human about it. There's just stuff stacked up together in a little teepee, and it's a long teepee, and it just kind of tapers down to the ground. So I believe we're going to run into things like that. And this is what I'm really hoping, because something else that they do is they will dig out like a trench, 8-9 feet long, 3 feet wide, 2 or 3 feet deep. And I think they lay down in it, is what I think, and cover themselves up. But they found them out there all the time. I mean, what else is doing this? I've never seen it anywhere else. I've never seen it there either, but he's found them and he's got them on film. He's actually stepped in them because they've got palmettos, over the top of them. So that's just, when it comes to, as far as documenting what we're doing, a lot of what we're going to get is going to be stuff like that. And then of course our static cameras that we're going to set up for some of the strategies that we employ. One of the first things I want to do, Clay, is the fake fight. I think that's going to bring out. I really do. Get, a couple of us yelling at each other and just doing a little, pushing and act like we're grappling or whatever.
Start arguing over pancakes and start wrestling on the ground.
I think that's going to bring them out. That's going to be some of our day one stuff. And setting up the fake campsite. You're bringing the recorder with the baby crying, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm bringing all my stuff. I'm bringing everything.
What's going to be in your bag of tricks there, Kent? What are you bringing?
Well, one of the things we like to do when we go down to URI is take glow sticks. We hang those glow sticks up. My son likes to hang a lit flashlight to bring them in. And then he also has a gorilla, a little stuffed gorilla that he lays down on the ground, like on a tree or something. Of course, I'm going to bring my audio recorder. I just got finished listening to about 8 hours today of audio that my son took back in October. He's already reviewed it, and I'm reviewing it now to see what I can find. So those are some of the things I'll be bringing.
All right. What about camera wise? You guys bringing cameras to carry or what? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bringing a Zoom H4n audio recorder, a couple of cameras. I'm gonna rent a pretty decent thermal imaging camera. So yeah, I've got a couple of things I'm gonna be bringing to home. So yeah.
Cool. You bringing a camera, Kent?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring my still camera. Of course, not a lot of cash, as y'all are aware of. So I'm just using the camera that I've always had, and I also have a little handy cam that I use, and I've been trying to work with that, trying to get the resolution better on that, but I just don't think I can push it very much farther. I need to invest into an infrared light because the infrared light on it's burnt out.
That could be a good thing. I've got because I'm bringing our torches. The camera that I'm going to give you to use is a Canon XA20, and it's got night shot on it, so it does shoot. It's not 1080p, it's 720 resolution, but we're going to be out there at night. It's going to be good enough for you filming these guys when you're in that capacity. But what I've got are these IR torches, and they shine out 100 yards. And I've got gaffer's tape that I'm going to tape to the shotgun mic, so you'll have that light on there if you need to use it for whatever, to mount if you want to use your camera. But you are going to have one of my cameras to use anyway. Plus all the other stuff that everybody else is bringing. Mark Zaskey's got an XA20. He's got the night vision. We've got so much equipment going. No one's going to be short taking anything out. And if anybody hasn't heard exactly how we're going to do this and what we're going to do, you know, I'm going to get in there a day before and get everything set up. I don't know when guys are going to start pouring in, but we're going to start filming on a Friday morning. 6 a.m. is when the actual filming is going to begin. And we're going to have static cameras set up at both campsites. And then we'll get the crews together. We'll say our prayers and get after it. And then, you know, once that crew comes in, the next crew goes out. That crew is going to sit down in front of a camera and do an interview. So you're going to have to do that interview essentially every single time you come in. You're going to, while it's fresh and you're tired and wore out, sit down and talk about what you got, what you found, what happened going up to it, during, what everybody did, you know, because, you know, we're going to have the radios, and I've got 12 of them. So there's going to be radios at base camp listening with a recorder to what everybody else is saying, because we're going to have the earpieces. I want to have that radio in case there's some action and everybody's yelling at each other, hey, you need to run or whatever. I want to have that. I want to be able to capture that. So we're going to have a lot of stuff set up here. We're going to have a lot of recorders that we're going to set out, that we're going to stay out for 8 hours, 16 hours, probably some of them. I got a bunch of those extended battery packs. Those, they're called Black Web. They're really cool. And for the price, they're 20,100 milliamp hour, you know, about 70 watt hour amps, 70 watt hour battery packs. And that's what's going to power the body cameras. I don't know if you guys saw those. They're the Sony FDR 3000R cameras for everybody that's watching. And they're kind of big. They're bigger than a, what's the little camera?
GoPros.
A GoPro. Yeah. We were going to use GoPros, but when I started doing the research on them, they heat up in 45 minutes.
Right,
and they get too hot and burn out. And they're only 64 gig capable. These phones are 128 gig capable. So you can film for a lot longer. Now in 4K with the battery packs, you'll be able to film for 8 hours straight and never turn it off. And that's the good thing. But the cool thing about it is it comes with the watch that has the screen on it. So you can position your camera while you're looking at your watch. You know, you have your watch here with the screen and you can see exactly where this thing's pointed, which is going to be important, especially when you're walking in somewhere. If you're going single file, you know, the guy in the back's got to be aware enough to turn his camera around behind him. And here's Brandon.
Yep. Should be good to go now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, my hearing aid, Bluetooth wasn't connecting, so I had to go to 5 different pairs of headsets to finally find one that works.
We got you. Well, you must have been disturbing everybody in the house. Everybody's wondering why it's still daylight there at Brandon's house, because he lives in Hawaii. He's making a trip. He's going to fly all the way to South Florida. He's going to rent a vehicle and come up and be a part of this once in a lifetime expedition with us. And couldn't be happier to have you along. I would run through a few scenarios with these guys and what they thought. What are you expecting out of this, Brandon? What do you think is going to go down when you get there?
It's probably going to be like any other deployment. You know, we're going to get a group of guys all together. You know, things going to be a little confusing at first, and then we're going to get uncomfortable. And then, you know, the testosterone is going to kick in, and we're going to get, you know, irritated by little tiny things. And because, you know, sleep deprivation, just not being in your element, and, you know, just being, you know, in the woods, especially me coming from Hawaii, going all the way to Florida. And I really don't like Florida, you know, just from doing PT and all, you know, you jump in the ocean, come out, it's all sticky still yet. And, but anyways,
you're probably really going to hate after this.
Yeah, maybe. But the only thing that I'm really, really, you know, afraid of, honestly, is the wildlife. Other than that, you know, if I see one walk right in front of me and start blabbing, I'll just blab back. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do.
I doubt that's what's going to happen. I think that we're going to get maybe after day 3, and then they realize what we're doing. which is going to happen. They're going to just realize that we're there to get them.
Right.
Because it happens with Zaskey and the places he goes. They know, and I think the game changes. It's going to change once they realize, and they're going to try to get us out of there because we're going to be in their living room. We're not going to be on the path. We're going to be through the woods. Here's Dallas No Name Kerry. How do you think you will react if you come face to face with a Bigfoot? Will you run or get the shot, brother? 6 months of prep and telling myself the whole time, I'm going in. I'm going to go in. Face to face, I'm probably backing up, to be honest. I think because I say this because I've been there. When you see this creature, you just don't know what it does to you. I don't believe that we are emotionally equipped to handle it. I think these creatures know it. I think that's why they stay away from us, because they know they scare us. It's such an ominous and intimidating feeling to be within range of one where he can get you. I don't think anybody with any sense at all is going to be able to fight that urge to start going the other direction. That being said, I'm going to do my best to film the guys that are doing this. So I'm going to take this question and put it out there to you guys one at a time. Clay, to you.
The same question?
Same question.
Well, I mean, from what we know, I mean, they're going to do everything in their power to get us out of there before becoming violent. I mean, I think that's going to be the last resort, unless we stumble across a baby or a little dead juvenile or something. So, I think they're going to give us plenty of warning, plenty of chances to get out of their living room before they do start really getting violent. And so, I mean, by that point, I mean, we'll have accomplished what we came there to accomplish before they really start.
If they step out, it's over. We got them.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. Kitch, what are you going to do?
I'm just going to do my best to film it, to get the shot, to stand my ground. Now, obviously, if Clay says, let's get a little bit closer, then we're going in. And I'm more concerned about the normal flora and fauna that we know about, like the hogs and the gators and, the rattlesnakes. I'm trusting in Mark Zaskey to, give us the briefing. If you encounter, some hogs, this is what you do, that kind of thing.
Well, Mark Zaskey knows where they are, and that's the good thing is he's been in this place a lot. He knows where they are. He knows where they like to be. And I'll say this, when it comes to snakes, there's something about an area that's got a lot of these creatures in it where there's just not very many snakes. He's only ever seen one. He's been doing this in this area since 2013. So you're talking about 7 years and seeing one snake, and it was on the side of a tree. It was just a little, like a garter snake. So I think that speaks volumes.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah.
It really does. Only ever seen one alligator outside of where the alligators normally stay in those areas. So I don't know if they get them and eat them and run them off. But I mean, I can imagine that these creatures move around this place in the different microsystems that are in this area, just to not exhaust all the resources. But I don't think snakes last very long around these creatures. Brandon, same question for you, man. You run into one face to face. What do you think you're going to do?
Face to face?
10 feet. 10 feet.
10 feet. My first reaction would be to stay calm and, just slowly just back off and, let them know that I'm not here to, be violent or anything like that. But if it comes down to, it being violent, naturally our survival instincts kick in and it's fight or flight. So we can't control it regardless. And, from my combat experience, I'm going to go lean towards that and, just stay calm. If it's being calm with me, I'll be calm, but, I'll just be respectful and I'll slowly back away. And then, I'll base it off on how everybody around me is acting. And if I see somebody trying to go for their firearm, I, kind of calm them down, be like, relax. Let's not jump, let's not go to conclusions, because Mark's been there for how long, and we're gonna go there and they're gonna test us out. I'm pretty sure, and we
I
don't
think
want to.
you're right. I think they will test us, and it's not. We know what we're going there for. It's not like if this happens, it's going to be a huge surprise. It's going to be. I hope you guys are expecting it and preparing for every single contingency you can think of, because we just don't know. We don't know what we're going to get other than what's there. What outside of bushes and trees. We're going to hear them. We're going to catch them on audio. And the good thing about all this is that we're going to have so many cameras going and so much audio equipment going constantly. We're not going to miss a single thing. And I think that happens so much. People get caught off guard. They're walking into an area and boom, this thing rushes past them. And where's my camera? Oh, I saw it. It was just a glimpse. That's the one thing about this that is going to be completely and totally different from what anybody else has done. Is so many cameras going all the time for the full set. Only time it's not going to be filming is when you're changing out the battery or changing out the SD card. And yeah, I think that it's going to be a very interesting trip. Make sure this was from Zaskey. Make sure you have plenty of socks, about 3 pair a day, and plenty of underwear.
Or just wear, the big adult diapers. It's much easier.
Well, we are going to have a shower house, which is going to be a good thing for 14 guys. And so the days are going to be warm. Nighttime is still going to be cool, relatively cool. It'll be in the 60s, which will be good. Be really good for the drone, because we are going to be able to do the thermal drone during the daytime also. But it will get pretty warm down there, and we're going to have some rain. We're going to have some wind. We're just going to be one of those things, it's one of those things you have to prepare for, is being out there in the rain. And I don't know how much we're going to stay out there in the pouring down rain all the time. We'll just have to see how that goes. If nothing else, if it does rain for a few hours and shut us down, we'll at least be at the camp inside tent, and we'll have segments there. They'll just be a part of the trip, because we're filming the whole thing. Going to put it out. The film is called 168 Hours, A Bigfoot Odyssey, and you're going to see an hour count going on, and you're not going to see a whole lot of me. I will narrate through it some, but mostly it's going to be just introducing a scene. Day 3, or we'll say hour 78. The guys are preparing to go into a place where they caught some action on an audio camera, on an audio recorder the night before. You'll hear stuff like that from me, just like to set up a scene. And there will be a lot of setup shots. There's going to be a lot of drone flyby shots. Me in the bushes filming the guys walk by. Shots like that. But it's going to be the real thing.
The guys back at control, Kerry, are they going to be marking where we are, following us like on GPS? And so if we have an encounter or whatever, they're going to drop a pin somewhere so we know we can go back there? Or
yes, we're going to be able to look on our map, on our grid, and see where we are. And we're hoping we're going to have it on the app. But let's see. I had one here. This is Mr. Christopher Noel. How's the water level looking? We were worried that it was going to be a wet winter, because if it's a wet winter, we're going to have to deal with a lot of water. The catchment areas will probably be full, which means alligators. And it's going to eliminate the amount of dry land we had to work with. The good thing is it's also going to eliminate the amount of dry land that the Sasquatch are going to have to work with. So it's a double-edged sword. So far, it's been okay. It hasn't been too wet. It's rained. It's about normal, I would say, Christopher. It hasn't been so bad that I think we're going to have to worry about it. I think they're going to be able to empty those catchment areas out, and it won't be too flooded. As of right now, we still have a little bit of time for it to flood for a week straight, and we'll see. So far, it's looking pretty good. But I got all the stuff ordered. The rest of the stuff, it's just going to be little stuff at this point that I have to get. Extension cords and power strips and containers that I got to get to put everything in. Water, I'm gonna get the 5 gallon, fresh water for us to cook and all that. Oh, the food, got to order that, but that only takes 3 days to get here. For what I'm ordering, what I budgeted for 12, I budgeted for 12 of the packs, so we are going to be bringing some other food. Let's see. Donald Fuller would really like to see you try Super 8. Man, that's just going to be too much to hassle with for us out there. Unfortunately, that's all. Plus, it's it would be put into a digital format anyway, just so we could show it to you guys. So Super 8 recording, but just having to transfer it to a digital format just to put it out there, the resolution is not going to be what you think it is. And then you have to deal with the thing about those Super 8 cameras is if you have it in your vehicle and you have the air conditioner on and you take it out, it's going to fog up on the inside immediately. So just there's too many variables in using a Super 8 for what we're going to be doing. If it rains, that thing is no good. So I think
what caliber sidearms?
What caliber sidearms? I'm gonna have a 10 millimeter and 45.
I've got nothing.
Yeah, you'll have something. We'll have something for you. Kench, what are you gonna take?
Got a 9 millimeter Taurus.
That's right. I remember that. Here you go, Kodiak. Why Florida and not Texas? Because the reason we chose the place that we're going, the main reason is because it's close quarter. There's not a lot of place for them to go. We know they're in there. The best images I've ever seen taken of Sasquatch have been taken in this place. Mark Zaskey's got hundreds of them. And, people look at some of it and, they call it pareidolia or whatever, but we know what we're looking at. Pareidolia doesn't blink. For one thing, and you see some of the stuff he's got is just incredible stuff. Melanie catches a lot of their stuff, but yeah, that's the main reason is that it's close quarter. There's not a whole lot of place for them to go, and they're gonna have there's no elevation; it's all flat, so they're gonna have to get close to us to watch us, and they're gonna watch us just like they watch everybody else, especially with what we're going to be doing. We're going to be attracting their attention, to start with. And then the reason I wanted this place is because they can't get up 200 yards away from us and watch us. They're going to have to get pretty close to watch us. And we know they're there. There's no guessing here. We know these things are in here. And there's a lot of them. We are going to be outnumbered without a doubt. So what we're going to get, what we're going to catch, I'm excited about that part of it. I'm really not excited about doing the whole thing. I'm definitely not excited about editing it. But that's going to be another challenge, and that's why it's going to be important for everyone to have their own file. When we know when they come in, put their SD card in the computer, find their file, download what they've got for that day, and label it right then. So, and we'll have obviously Brandon and Mark Zaskey and all you guys probably know how to do this better than I do. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take some questions for these guys. Anything you guys want to know, put them in caps for me. So I can find them. Five
I like that one that nobody knows. 808 says, which when Brandon said something about the firearms, and he says firearms are strictly for hogs.
Oh yeah,
and,
we're not planning on shooting one of these things.
Right. So the firearms are not for the Sasquatch. That's for the other things that are out there.
Hogs, most, because hogs will strafe you, man. They'll run by, knock you on the ground, and come back through and just slice you right open. That's how they roll. Females won't do that, but they'll still mess you up. A 400-pound razorback female will jack you up. This is 5 Hazel. She says, how well prepared mentally are you all? Should you have an aggressive confrontation? 6 months. We've been running through this, and talking about this all together, when we can. We all have a little group message that we get on and talk sometimes and just put out there a lot of different stuff, pictures. We talk about a lot of things, equipment, what we're going to be doing. I think once we get within a week of leaving, that's when the real preparation is going to start. We're still far enough away now that doing a whole lot of prep is just has already been done pretty much. On my part, it has anyway. I'm sure you guys are all ready. There's no point in packing a bag just yet, you know. But we know when it comes down to being mentally prepared for this, we've all had plenty of time. I think we're ready. We know what we're in for. Um, Clay, how do you feel about that? You concur with that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the little stuff, and that's mainly why I was wanting to get together with all the guys, was just to go over the little things like, how many power strips we need, just little stuff like that. I mean, the big stuff's already pretty much taken care of, and we've already gone over in our heads and everything. So it was just little details that I'm just anxious to get into. So, but yeah, I mean, just count down the days, trying to.
Yep. Here's a question from Derek Reynolds. Have you been practicing flying the drone? I've been flying it for 3 years now.
Two to
So
three. Excuse me. Sorry.
yeah. So yeah, I think I'm pretty ready for it. I've whatever mistakes I'm gonna make. I think I've made them already. So yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad at it. Here we go. Yo Crow. Are you taking any dogs to help sense them? I think dogs too unpredictable. Um, and I don't think dogs are gonna mess with them anyway. Um, there's too many stories that I've heard. I don't have a dog that would do it regardless, but you hear too many stories about dogs just laying down and not want to track these things. And you can't really blame them. Um, Here we go. Are you going to be prepared for worst case scenario? That's Hansi Adams. I mean, worst case scenario, somebody gets killed. So, I mean, prepared for that? I don't know. I think we're prepared. I think we're all going to be prepared for the worst and hope for the best. Absolutely. So we've got some
Hmm.
guys that we're bringing in. We're just not going to be running around through the woods all willy nilly. We have strategies. We have first responders on the team. Um, we're going to have our location, our beacons for life light. If anything happens, I think we've got the right guys for any situation. I do, and that was important in bringing you guys out. Let's see, Donna Stokes. Any women going since Bigfoot are more willing to go towards women? No, we don't really know that. That does seem to be the case in some, in some cases, that does appear to be true. But no, we there were two women that applied and they backed out after the first interview that I did with them. So I mean, you guys have to understand what in getting these guys prepared and what we're asking them to do. It's not just another camping hiking trip. These guys are going to be going through the worst of it for a week. It's a tall order. It's a sacrifice, is what it is. We're asking these guys to sacrifice themselves to try to get something better for you guys, or not just for you guys, but to me, it's for the people that are just on the fence. They're not sure. So, and we're hoping that we can do that and disseminate it all in a way that people are going to look at it and say, "Wow, these things really are out there. We need to watch our butt," and it might spark something in someone else to get out there and do it too. Because to me, that's what we need. We need numbers. We need numbers. Let's see. What if they think they have a unspoken agreement with Mark and y'all going to break that? Don Sonier, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe you want to be a little bit more specific. An unspoken agreement. Not really sure what that means. Um,
I'm pretty sure Mark would probably, let us know that, hey, they don't like you doing this, this, this. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, I'm pretty sure,
and it's not like we're
that,
going to a place where no people go.
right.
People are there all the time. We're just going to go. We're just going to go where people just don't go. That's the thing. Let's see. What's this? If you get one on film, are you going to stay as long? Yes. Yes. We're going to stay the full trip for sure. If we catch the epic ultimates patty footage day 1, hour 1, we're gonna try to get something better
Mhm.
next
Yes,
100.
Mike, you can still donate. I want to see, the Barbie girl. So
Yeah,
yeah,
grand
donations are
token Barbie
welcome.
girl. I might do a little something. Just got a little over halfway there, but I pulled out a lot of the bank account for this. So any gifting, Lost Crypts Conservatory, that's George Workman. I don't think we're gonna do anything like that, George. We might. Mark takes some apples, and
Yeah.
I think they look forward to that. He'll take 5 pounds of apples and just throw them, and just to get him to come in close. I don't know how long it's been since he's done that there.
Yeah. I'm sure
Uh,
we'll definitely do apples and peanut butter if nothing else. I mean, at least
yeah,
offer some food. Maybe not gifting,
I don't
but
think we're going to be gifting in a sense of like we're going
right,
to have a gifting spot where we leave trinkets
right.
and things like that.
No,
No,
the time. Yeah.
we are going to have some static cameras set up, and I do want to put out some apples and peanut butter since we know they like that stuff with one of those cameras, pointed at it for the entire time.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see what else we got. Any more questions for these guys? Derek Reynolds, if law enforcement makes you leave, you have a backup area. They can't make us leave. It's a public place where we're going. We've already gone through this. We're going to have to deal with these people. Mark Zaskey deals with them all the time. And, we're going to pay to be in this place. They cannot make us leave. Now, they can harass us, and they probably will, especially if they realize what we're doing. But yeah, they can't make us leave because we're out there filming the woods and each other with a bunch of cameras. Yeah, like I said, Zaskey's already been through the ringer with them on this several times. They just that's why he has gone to a different area. But in this area, we chose this area for a reason. There's not a lot of hassle going to be here. He usually gets hassled on the other end of this different area that he goes. Let's see. We got Treva. At any time during planning, have you felt things were working against you in any unusual way? I did at one point feel that way, but then something happened to bring it all right back together. And if that other thing wouldn't have happened, it would have actually turned out worse. So I think we've got some luck here. I think that if you want to call it that, divine intervention, whatever. I do know this. Mark Stetton has a prayer group. It's got hundreds of people in it, and they're going to be throwing the good juice on us the whole time we're there. And I can't thank him enough for that. So that's going to help. Any kind of positive energy anybody's throwing toward us is actually going to help us tremendously. So things have been working out. It's going to happen. There's no turning back on it now. So here's Hansi Adams again. Can you describe the overall terrain where you're going, easily accessible? Some places will be easily accessible. The terrain is flat. It's as flat as can be. It's all palmettos in a lot of places, the canopies where these palm trees are. A lot of open catchment areas, which is going to work to our advantage. We're going to be up next to some water in some areas, which is going to work to our advantage. Like I said, there's a reason we stole this place. We chose this place. I'm doing all the talking here. Any musical instruments? I don't think so, George. I don't know. Zaskey might bring his guitar out, but this is going to be more of an aggressive search than a sit back and let them come to us type of deal. We're gonna go with we're taking the type of equipment to find and locate them to go get them, and just not a lot of people do that. Most people go out and they camp, and they have these things come into them, and they hear them knocking, making sounds all around. That's not what we're doing with the thermal drone and thermals we're gonna have on the ground and the equipment we're gonna have. We're going after them. When we see them, we're gonna get on our horses and go without horses. So
Right.
DNA traps, light tape, these in Nebraska. I don't know. That again, that's really not going to be our charge here. We're going to be moving through, covering a lot of ground. In the beginning, we are going to have some of the strategies that we set up, like the baby crime with the fake campsite, the pretend fighting with each other and all that. Some of those things that we're going to do in the beginning. But outside of that, we're going to be on our feet. We're going to be moving and then looking for signs, looking on that drone thermal and looking on the ground thermals with our cameras. Obviously we're going to be resting throughout different places, but there's not going to be a set up area for us to do, things like play music or set DNA traps or anything like that. Like I said, we're going to have specific areas. We set up static cameras that are going to be shooting down a lane that maybe we can catch them after we go through, or we run them by it. That's going to be one thing, is setting up the static cameras on trees to catch, hopefully them getting away from us. So that's gonna be a major part of what we're doing.
I mean, it only takes 2 minutes.
Just on the map as far as how far around the camp or away from the camp that we're going, like how many miles do you anticipate?
Well, where we're going is 21,000 square acres. So it's a big place. But like I said, it's spotty with these open areas, lakes, ponds, if you will, not really lakes, but a lot of canopies, canals. So it's not all woods. That's why I like this place. There's not a whole lot of place for them to go to get away from us. They're gonna have to go into the thick bush, and depending on how thick it is and how treacherous it is gonna depend on how far in we go and do this. Here we go, fishing with Fredo. That's a nice blue cat there, Hoss. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He said, what mindset, or should I say, what words will be going on in your mind as you approach them? And do you think they can read your mind? You know what? I really hope they can't. But now, to me personally, and I'll let you guys answer this too. For me personally, I think they're just so observant. I think they've watched us for so long that when they watch people and they know what normal, laissez-faire attitudes and behavior are with us, I think once they see the serious side and watch our behavior and what we're doing, I think they might just figure out what we're doing eventually, because I think they watch us that closely. The mindset is, mine's going to be pretty rigid. Mine's going to be whatever it takes, because I'm only doing this once. What do you think? Clay, what do you think?
Yeah, and in my opinion, nothing's off the table. I mean, back to the hair traps. It takes 2 minutes to put up a hair trap, whether it be with duct tape and some peanut butter, or with the Velcro with the hooks on it, put it around some trees. So, I mean, nothing's off the table. I mean, we might just do a little bit of
The
everything.
thing about this place is there's already hair traps there. And that's what I was talking about Mark today. When you see that, he calls it something, but that's where he finds all his hair, is in those places. So we're going to be able to pick up hair. He's picked up so much of it at this point. He can probably
We found some hair on the fence that was out there. Like, I don't know, I can't remember if it was a barbed wire fence or whatever, but there was a fence out there that he found a lot of hair on. And then there was one video that he did, and they went just outside of where the camp was into the trees, and that's where they found those clear hollow hairs.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
A lot of clear hairs, and it was a good variety of it. You can actually see it on one of our shows and on the Patreon if you guys want to go check that out. Let's see what else we got. We're gonna take a couple more and then we'll get out of here. We've been on here for an hour already. Let's see. Thank you, Bomber. We appreciate that very much. And Hansi, thank y'all so much for everything you guys have done to help us do this. A lot of you are a big part of this for sure. Scott Owens, hadn't talked to you in so long, man. I don't know where you've been. Kerry, is there a protocol in place to deal with a possible Sasquatch attack on y'all, meaning bloody or severe injury? Yes, actually there is. We're going to actually have a safety analysis that we're going to fill out and go over. Well, whose job it is to do what in what situation before we ever go out and do anything. We're going to have coordinates for life light. We're also going to have a beacon for life light, which is a helicopter. You know, if somebody's got to go to the hospital. Um, so yes, to answer your question there, Scott, we are going to have things in place for that for those worst case scenarios. We want to be prepared for because what we're going to do is dangerous, straight up.
Yep.
Two ways about it. It's oh, let's see. We'll take this. We'll take one more. Brandon Lowe, how are you, buddy? Have you thought of using shotgun prime or tripwire device to make a perimeter? I haven't really thought about that. Clay, what do you think about that?
Me and Brandon got a couple of ideas. I mean, whether you're using,
y'all are the strategy guys, so I know y'all some stuff.
I mean, I thought about bringing some mirrors with laser alarms or just the old string and can. I mean, there's there's a whole spectrum of stuff that you can come up with to use as perimeter barriers. So, I mean,
Or the pressure plate carpet, if I can take the equipment there. And I did think of the primers for the tripwires to even shoot off flares from a distance and illuminate the area and whatnot. But if we do that, then our intentions might, they might think it as we're aggressive and violent. So
we're going to attract park rangers if we set off. They're going to be coming in to wonder what in the world is going on.
The Men in Black's going to show up and be like, "What's going on?" Bang, bang, bang.
Brandon Cruz, is it Richard Borchart's area? No, it's not. We're not going to be anywhere around Area 1, which is down there in West Palm Beach. We're going to be about 30 miles from there where we're going. So this is going to butt up against one of Mark Zaskey's new areas. He had gone to this place for years where we're going now and gotten some incredible images from there. But they found a place that's a lot closer that's just as riddled with these creatures. There's one right here. That's one thing that we talked about. Sky Park Rangers may shut down before it gets started. They can't. They cannot shut us down. We're going to pay to be in there. And, Zaskey's been dealing with these guys for 7 years, and they've tried to do it to him, and he's pulled out the law on them. So this is what you can do. This is what you can't do. You can't make us do this. We're not doing anything wrong. He's actually been to court with him on this stuff. So they're not going to be able to shut us down for no reason. They can't shut us down for just being out there with cameras. They can't do it. And as far as firearms, as long as we have the proper permits that you can get right there at the front office, we're going to be good, because you can hunt hogs not 24/7, the only daylight to dark can you hunt hogs. But even at night, they can't say anything to you about being out hiking at night. They can't.
So what was law enforcement's argument? What were they saying he was in violation of?
That he wasn't paying to go in. Yeah, because they caught him coming out of a place where it says no entrance. And he said, "Does it look like did you see me going in or coming out? It doesn't say no exit." It just says no entrance. That was one of them that they tried to write him a ticket for. And I don't think he's paid anything. But where he goes in, it's $5 every time you go in there. And they thought he was coming in through the back because they were coming out through the back. So but no, you got to keep everything above board when it comes to those people. And you got to keep it above board, plain and simple. Let's do this one more. Love the attitude and looking forward to seeing what you guys get. I'm going to tell you what you guys are going to get. You're going to get 7 episodes. It's a 7-part docu-series you're going to know everything there is to know about these guys right here. And then you're going to know every single thing they're doing, everything that happens, just the good stuff. We won't show you a lot of tromping around through the woods without any action. But you're going you're going to get half of it's going to be the story. You know, we got to tell the story. We got to set the context. If we don't set the context, it's just not going to be as good. So it's going to be interesting for you guys. I promise you. Even if we don't catch a thing, you're at least going to get what we did, how we did it, what happened. We're going to have failures, and that's going to be important for the story. We're going to have failures. We're going to have successes also. We're going to run into these things. And we're just hoping that everybody acts right when it comes on to the Sasquatch side. So, hey, look, thank you guys for coming on here and listening to me talk most of the time and about all this, because that's all I do is think about this trip. And when I'm not working, even when I am working, I'm thinking about this trip and you guys. And I can't thank you guys enough for what you're going to do. It's a hell of a sacrifice that you guys are going to make to get this, try to get this epic footage. But, you know, if we get it, you guys, I know you're not in it for this, but if you get it, and it will be yours, we already talked about this, anything that anybody films is going to go to the expedition, but it's your footage. Once this thing comes out, it's yours to do with whatever you want. It's going to be yours, and you're going to be famous. I'm just telling you. You're going to have to put up with all the squatchers knocking your door down wanting your autographs. Just saying, they're going to know who you are, plain and simple. And we're going to get ridiculed like you would not believe. We're going to get kicked in the teeth. Just be ready for it. So it's a sacrifice on that end also. But hey, thank you guys for coming on here tonight. Hey, if you haven't gone and checked out Daniela's show, Hidden Existence, on YouTube, go and subscribe to that. Look in the description of any of one of our latest episodes, and you'll see Mark and Kerry A to Z. It's on Patreon only. We got some pretty good shows in there. I think you guys will enjoy. Sign up and come along on that little ride with us, and we do appreciate that. Brandon Shoma, keep it cool there in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Wow, and subscribe to Squatching Strategies also. I keep forgetting about you over there, Clay. Sorry, I have so much other stuff on my mind.
Sorry.
But Clay Campbell, Squatching Strategies, Mark Kinchell. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. We're going to have a couple of more of these. These are going to get a lot more frequent. We're going to have a lot more of the other guys on here, not on the off nights that we're not doing Researchers Report. We're going to have some more shows like this. And hopefully I'll get Mark Zaskey's butt up, because I know he's fell asleep. I talked to him earlier. Yeah,
I was almost right there with him.
Well, you can go to sleep now, because I think I might do the same. I got to get up early too. But hey, thank you guys for joining me here, and hope you guys got a little out of that anyway. I'll try to give a little bit more notice on the next one. But you guys take care and have a good night.
Will do.
All
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.